All right, Nick, let's go down to Tuscaloosa and talk about the Alabama Crimson Tide. There's a huge win today in the recruiting battle. Alabama, once again, gets back on top, and this shows that they are coming back with a vengeance, and everybody really needs to look out.
Yeah, Miles, I think you've got a great report highlighting an incredible commitment flip that Alabama pulled off, which leads me directly to my question today for Crimson Tide fans to answer in the comments section below. Look, obviously, Alabama's done an incredible job recruiting over the past couple of decades or so, but that leads me to my question for you guys. What is the biggest flip, a guy who was committed to one school but ended up committing and going to the University of Alabama in program history, in your opinion? Give us that guy that flipped to Alabama, surprised a lot of people in the comment section below. All right, Miles, what you got? What's the latest news involving the Crimson Tide?
Yeah, Nick, it may end up being this guy. We are talking about none other than former Georgia Bulldog commit Peyton Woodyard, who is now committed to the University of Alabama. This guy is coming out of Bellflower, California. Big time recruit. Let's get into the specifics of it. This is from Hayes Fawcett at On3 Sports. Of course, great recruiting news. Go check him out for all of your high school recruiting needs, showing who is going where. But let's get into it. Four-star safety Peyton Woodyard of Bellflower, California, St. John Bosco High School, flipped his commitment from Georgia to Alabama Tuesday afternoon. The 6'2", 198-pounder has been committed to the Bulldogs since January. He said, Alabama's track record for developing and producing NFL DBs played a key role in his decision as well. Coach Saban has done a great job with DBs, and it's evident that something's definitely played a role in me picking Alabama, specifically the safety position. From Minka Fitzpatrick to Brian Branch to Eddie Jackson, I feel no one does it better than Bama. The Golden State safety joins Coach Nick Saban in the Crimson Tide's top 5 class in 2024 team rankings. He is accompanied by 5-star quarterback Julian Sayin and 5-star athlete Jalen Mbakwe. So, Nick, I think this is a huge get for Alabama, and he said it himself. Who else better to get top-level NFL talent at safety than Alabama? They have shown they can do it consistently over and over again, making that safety factor, just showing that they have a plan and they know how to get the top-level guys. But what do you think about Woodyard's commitment, and what do you think this means for Alabama going forward?
So it's very interesting that Woodyard was committed to Georgia basically since the end of Woodyard's high school football season back around January timeframe. And that reminds me of one thing a coach used to tell me is that right after the season ends, you're always going to be your most emotional. You're always going to make a decision, not the most logical, rational, well thought out decision. Football's done. It's gone. You've got free time on your hands. You're missing the game. So you just kind of go with your heart. You don't really think things through. And I think we saw that with Woodyard's commitment at that time. Not to discount what he was thinking at the time, but he was thinking more emotionally. He has a chance to go through an offseason. He sees what Alabama does in the draft. He saw the NFL draft. He sees all the Alabama guys doing great things in mini camps and training camps. And we're getting into preseason in the NFL now. He's had a chance to go on all his visits. Went to USC, went to Georgia, of course, Ohio State, went to Tuscaloosa, of course. I think that was his last visit on the 23rd of June. Had time the entire month of July to sit here and think about and evaluate these things and make a rational, logical decision. And of course, the answer is the University of Alabama if you're a defensive back. It is I don't care what any other program says. I know LSU likes to call themselves DBU, and that's fine. They can do that. They've done a lot of great things with defensive backs. But in terms of churning out elite NFL talent at the defensive back position, whether it's corners, safeties, nickel corners, box safeties, free safeties, it doesn't matter. There is nobody better than the University of Alabama. What Nick Saban has done, regardless who his defensive coordinator is at that position, is incredibly remarkable. And I think this is a kid here who saw that. He had some time the entire offseason to realize that the best fit for him would be the University of Alabama, and I think he made the right move.
Yeah, Nick, and I love what you say here about Alabama's DB production, because we do hear LSU's DBU, but it's more of a what have you done for me lately game in the NFL nowadays, and Alabama has done a lot lately. So I think that shows, like you said, in these young guys' mind, they're not going back and looking at the greats anymore. They want to know, what have you done recently with the position group? And Alabama producing so many high-tier DBs, I think this just shows the good players see this and know, okay, I want to go to the NFL. That is the main goal of most of these guys. College is just the way they get there, and what college is going to set them up best. And we've seen it time and time again. Like you said, Alabama seems to be the place for high-level NFL recruits. It is essentially a factory to send players to the NFL. I think this was a great move for Woodyard. I think he's going to develop really nicely. And I think this is a guy who, by all accounts, is a very good player as well. We don't want to discount that. He can cover, he can play run support, he can do everything. This is a true do-it-all safety who really doesn't have too many weaknesses to his games. And he is a natural leader. A lot of his peers, he's very well respected. They say a lot of great things about him. Said he has tremendous off the field work ethic as well. So there's so many great things said about this guy. I think he's going to be a natural leader at Alabama. I think he's going to help this defense get better and hopefully get him to a national championship.
Yeah, Miles, I'll just reiterate something. You talk about Alabama, what they've done for you lately at defensive back. Miles, who's the best safety in the NFL right now? It's got to be Minka, right? Minka Fitzpatrick for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah.
Who is the best ball hawk corner in the NFL right now?
I would say probably I like
Trayvon
Marlon
Diggs.
Humphrey.
Marlon Humphrey. All right, there you go. There's your Ravens bias, but he's a good player too. How about the best pure cover corner in the NFL? I know people love Sauce Gardner. I think it's Surtain in Denver.
Yeah, he's
right. No matter where you look, like there's so much elite defensive back talent in the NFL. We see these guys balling out in the mini camps. We're seeing them ball out in training camp, and these recruits see it too, just like you and I do. And I tell you what, that really matters. I think we're going to start seeing a lot more of these potential commits, guys who may have committed to schools like Georgia right after the season, right when Georgia was winning a national title. Now that they've had a chance the entire offseason to see what Alabama guys are doing in the NFL, I think they're going to see a lot of guys flipping like this. I think this is the beginning of many moves for the University of Alabama.